Welcome back to Ceiling Fork with your host JD and another episode of BluTeeFul.
Burn it down. Burn it down. These streets of gasoline. Take this match from my teeth.
Today we talk Grindhouse's brand new release of BluTeeFul's The Beyond. Before I get into some things about the movie, I just want to say there was some weird stuff with this release. Grindhouse... What's going on with it? You know what? We're just going to roll with it. So Grindhouse releases a limited edition of this, 3,500 copies, sells out very fast. Tons of people losing their minds online that it was gone. And then about 24 hours later, they just dropped the exact same release minus one particular item. I give you the limited edition. Limited edition Beyond with the... I mean, because it's a floating eyeball. I really should have checked. I don't remember seeing the size of this listed. I thought I was getting this pretty cool kind of item that would look awesome on the shelf. No, it's just this little tiny replica that they gave out in the movie theaters, which is still cool. Very weird. Grindhouse was saying afterwards, like, oh no, we said that it's the eyeball release that was limited. Basically, I mean, they just gotta own it. They created a false sense of FOMO. Collectors lost their mind. And then it turned out they were just gonna make a whole bunch of copies of this thing. Anyway, that said, let's just talk about the movie. Lucio Fulci is an interesting character in Italian film horror, or Italian film in general. The man did westerns, comedies, dramas, all kinds of stuff. Had some really high-class thrillers, had some extremely gore-drenched B stuff. Like, the man was all over the scene in the 70s. One of my favorites, Enigma, spelt very weirdly for, I think there was some conflict with another film with the name Enigma, so he just put an A in front of it. His answer to Dario Argento's fame, essentially him taking a shot. Have I mentioned how much I enjoy the pettiness of 1970s Italian directors and actors? It's the best. I've come to him in horror, and looking at my collection, I think I have 6 of his films now, including the other 2 parts that bookend this film. It's part of a trilogy called The Gates of Hell, which is very loose. There's just some terms and some mythology that wind through them, each having their own complete story. But there are themes of supernatural and whatnot. But Lucio Fulci was a very good director. And like I said, looking at my collection now, he probably have more films other than Dario Argento. I think he's the other director that I just have ended up with more of his movies in my collection. Some great releases, fun films. So when this got announced, I was all over it. The plot to this movie is kind of, I don't want to say pointless, but this is one of these horror films where you're there for just the gore, the presentation, the set pieces. Even Lucio himself has said that this was really a combination of a bunch of different cool deaths and gore effects he wanted to try. And him and another gentleman, I can't remember his name right now, wove them together into a plot. And then dropped just a couple of little tidbits that tied it into some of his other stuff. And then in the American dub, I think that played a little role too, because they very clearly mentioned a book, even though the book changes names. I shouldn't think about it too much. It's Friday. I mean, let's just keep things light. Really fun movie if you're there for some crazy cool imagery. There is a plot, but I'm just saying by the end of it, you may or may not know fully what happened or how it's connected. Like the other 2 films in the trilogy, honestly. But it's a lot of fun. This release is amazing. Absolutely great packaging. Really cool, different approach. They put the features right on the back of the box. I know a lot of times you have the little peel-off page, but I thought that was kind of nice. Kind of makes it feel a little bit more like that VHS era. The packaging inside is very cool too. Not only do you get a very cool book about Fulci himself, which I am genuinely excited to read, but this is very cool. All 6 discs. 6. That is 1 more than 5, and 4 more than 2, and 5 more than 1. Comes in a replica of a book that I think you see in 2 of the 3 films in the trilogy. Anyway, like I said, I should stop saying trilogy. It's Gates of Hell, 3 films loosely tied together by Lucio Fulci. They're all their own thing. What I love about this, scroll through, each one lists the version of the film along with a bunch of extras on it. To get into the extras on this, look, I usually try to watch a good chunk of the extras before I do these reviews so I can talk about them. I haven't even tried with this yet. This is going to be a multi-night adventure. There are, I think, 4 film versions of this film. There's the full CD, the features on everything. I mean, let's just flip to one here. Archival extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Like 13 on that one disc alone. It's just It's beautiful packaging. The box, I know a lot of people hated on the art on this. I actually think this is a really cool kind of classic looking Italian giallo art. If you look at his original artwork for like The Psychic and some of those films, I think it's right in line with that. And I like the fact that inside you don't have a slipcase, you have this really unique version with all the discs in it. I don't know, there's just a lot to like here. Grindhouse has always delivered some really cool packaging. I have their Pieces edition. Sadly, I didn't get the puzzle pieces. If you've watched that movie, you know. If the puzzle pieces are anything like the eyeball, maybe I did miss out. Maybe the puzzle was actually like 2 inches big. I don't know. Size matters. Cool film. Cool packaging. Those are 2 boxes checked. What about the restoration and audio here? Amazing. This really is a great looking 4K. We all know that some of the you know what? I don't know. Maybe everybody doesn't know. Maybe you watch a film and you're like, why doesn't this look good as this film? Look, how they shot the film, the lensing, the film, everything plays a role in how this restoration can look. Lensing and lighting particularly can be an issue. So there are directors, John Carpenter, Dario Argento, where the majority of their films, I'm sure there's others I'm missing, on these new transfers look unbelievable. Spielberg too. I should put Spielberg in there. He has some unbelievable transfers that I've watched. These classic 70s kind of lower budget films, or 80s lower budget, or 90s lower budget, are always a little hit or miss depending on the quality of the original production. Overall, this is an absolutely amazing 4K. It looked great 98% of the time. The sound just booming through the stereo. If you're a fan of these films, this is the best it'll ever look. I'm willing to say ever sound as well. Truly great work from Grindhouse. Like I said, I have a few of their other releases. I also have a really cool Western they released called The Big Gun Down that looked phenomenal, and that wasn't even a 4K. So they do put their work in. They've stated online this was like a multi-year labor of love, and with the amount of extras, things like composer's cut, alternate releases, you can tell that a lot of time went in here, and I appreciate it. I don't like the initial announcement and how they kind of used physical media's fear of missing out on these releases against them a bit. Like, I was a little bit, I forgive them. It's a great set, and for anybody out there that wants to get it, I believe they're still available. So anybody that wants to get their hands on it, I think there's still a few of them floating out there. I'm not 100%. It's a little weird on the Grindhouse side. I know they have a standard release coming as well. So if you're just looking at getting your hands on the 4K with the features and whatnot, it looks like they're going to have that option. So, you don't have to worry about missing out on this. Maybe just find one of those old gumball machines. When you put the quarter in, it would drop out. And, pretty close. Paint a little thing on it. Anyway, whatever. It'll sit on top of the shelf. All right, I'm going to say it. I think top to bottom, this is a 10 out of 10 release. I haven't watched all the extras. Obviously, like I said, it takes hours to watch them all, but that's what I mean. The amount of extra stuff in here, the packaging is very cool, the book included with it, and heck, I'll even give them half a point for the eyeball. From now on, we have a point scale related to body parts that come with your physical media releases. That's now a mainstay. Maybe. I don't know. My first, I think, 10 out of 10 on BluTeeFul. And I've been very judicious with which films I'm going to give that to, because there are a lot of great releases that come out, but it has to be a combination of all three. The packaging, the restoration, and extras that come along with it. Because you've seen this film 1,000 times, and yes, not everybody has, but a lot of collectors have watched these films multiple times. That's why they're investing the money on it. There's always first-time people that are just getting into collecting now or looking to revisit films they've never seen. They want to get their hands on. They can't find them on streaming services, what have you. But those three things, the presentation of the package, the presentation of the actual video and audio, and then the extras and time put into these release. Synapse has some stuff coming out that I have no doubts are going to be creeping up pretty high. But this is an all-time release. And you know what? Little note to companies everywhere. Put the damn title of your releases on your spine in a clearly able to read size letter. Some of these releases, you got these wide boxes and they have this little tiny thing right here. It just looks like a black box or a white box on the shelf. I like the fact that they filled that spine with the title of the movie. Looks great amongst the other ones. The zombie spine looks really full. I'm physical media nerding out. We're just ending this. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. I hope you enjoy these. I hope you enjoy, if you got your hands on it, have a great time with this release. It's awesome. That's all I've got, folks.